everyone, welcome to Game Latte. I'm Cindy and today we're having a traditional video log where I'm recording and uploading on YouTube after. The reason I'm doing this is because I was a little tied up on Tuesday. Also, I'm thinking I'm going to go back to this format just because it's a higher quality and I'm also going to do the live streams. I'm not going to do like one or the other. I think I'm going to try to do both. So we'll see how that goes. And because the live chatting is different than this, it's less focused and I'm very easily distracted. And it is fun to have the community participate as I'm recording. That's always cool. Anyway, I have some news for you guys. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been playing around with my hosting for my website to get my content out. So for my blog, it used to be GameLatte.com. That no longer exists because the host that I had turned out to suck. Anyway, they're actually not that expensive, but I wanted to kind of redirect where I'm putting my money into, and it just wasn't really worth it to have a fully hosted site anymore for me. So I decided to just let go of the hosting, but I wanted to keep the domain name Game Latte and just redirect it somewhere. Anyway, the current host I had would not allow me to do that. They were like, no, it's like this domain is locked, and if you want to host it, you have to host it with us. And I'm like, well, screw you guys. and then I tried on Tumblr, and I got a domain just on my Tumblr, which was game-latte.com, and that was okay. But then Google Plus went and got all awesome on me, and they kind of really revamped their blogger. Well, they've been doing that, but I hadn't been aware. And they added Google Plus comments. And I know some of you guys are on Google Plus right now, and I think it's honestly getting to be the best community platform out there. Their community sites are awesome. I might make a community page for this. I'm not too sure yet. The Facebook one wasn't all that successful, but I didn't really market it that much, so. And I don't like Facebook anyway to begin with, so I think I'm going to redirect everything to Google. I love Google. It's just everything that I have now is basically on Google. And YouTube is part of Google, so there you go. It's kind of like the natural way that things are progressing right now for community managing for YouTube. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking anyway. So if you're not following me on Google Plus, I will post my page in the comments below, the link, so just copy paste that and make sure to add me to your circles. If you don't have a Google Plus, I honestly really recommend it. I prefer it on top of Twitter, on top of Facebook, Tumblr, all of those things. It's pretty much becoming my choice of community and forum posting and all that stuff. It's basically also, again, we have a Final Fantasy XIV community on there, which is if you follow me, then it'll be easy to find my community. So yeah, good stuff. Anyway, so back to the topic. Oh wait, before I do that, I have settled on a website. So as I was saying, I'm going with Blogger now, and I also decided to just put all my focus together. So all my interests are not going to be on my one website and my one blog, and because I have more than gaming as interests. You guys may not, well, you're probably aware if you follow me that I'm an esthetician now. I've just finished school, and that's what I'm doing as a profession, so there might be some stuff in there about that. So I wanted to have all my geekness together and I called it geeklatte.com. That also goes for this channel. Shut up, phone. That also goes for this channel. I'm thinking that at one point, this is a, not a prophecy, but a, what do you call that? I predict that in the YouTube community, we'll be able to change our usernames. That's what I think that Google is going for. Right now, you're able to connect your YouTube account with your Google Plus account, so it's all together, and I really like that. Because that's actually what I've done. So now you don't see me as Game Latte anymore. You'll see me as my name, Cindy Michaud. And so yeah, and I'm thinking that later on, because when you do that, they ask you Would you like to change your username? Would you like to keep it as your real name or something else? So I voted for the other thing to be able to, because I want to change it to whatever username I pick. Not necessarily my channel name, Game Latte. So anyway, channel still Game Latte, but I might change it to Geek Latte as well down the road when I start doing videos that are not gaming related. And of course, those will be under their own playlist or category and stuff. And I really would like YouTube to be a little bit more organized and have sub-channels for our channels. That would be so awesome because then I could keep everything together. Also, I also predict that I might also have it just because they've been doing a lot of restructuring lately. But enough about that. Let's go on to actual gaming stuff. Oh, I'm drinking regular coffee today again. I'm being boring. I could have added some chai to this. I've got chai spice now, like actual. I think I mentioned this in the last episode, but chai actually only means spicy tea. That's all it means. So, and I've got like a mix that I can just add to stuff, and it's just so awesome. I make like the most wicked mocha chais ever now, but which I should post the recipes. Also, on my Geek Latte, I am actually posting recipes on my drinks on there. I'm starting. There's one already there, so yay, awesome. All right, I've been playing all kinds of crap lately. Basically, I'm awaiting Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn, and I'm getting really, really antsy, and I'm trying all these games, I'm trying to play all these MMOs, and nothing is satisfying me or, you know, satiating me. So I tried to play Neverwinter Online when it just came out, and I bought a Founders Pack, which wasn't that bad, that expensive. I didn't buy the $200 one. No, I didn't care about being Renegade Dunner. That's the Elder Scrolls. A Renegade Dark Elf or whatever. So, or have a Panther, which would be cool. But I think like everybody's gonna have a Panther, and just I would like if they just didn't touch that because that's Druts to me, and nothing else could touch it. So, but whatever. I don't agree with having it out there all the time, but you know everybody's got the Renegade thing. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to get into it, which is why I'm evading it. But yeah, so and I only played it for like a little bit, and I thought I would play it a lot since I don't have anything else to do. And honestly, I haven't. I've actually gone back to Mass Effect 2. So I think I'm just gonna play Mass Effect for a while again on my PlayStation and just ping pong back and forth. But it's been pretty horrible. I've been playing some Defiance still, but and that's just I only bought Defiance because I knew I wasn't gonna be really focused on it. That I would just be, you know, be able to go in to satisfy my shooting needs basically when I want to like just kill stuff. I need to unwind or like, you know, de-stress majorly, then yeah, Defiance is awesome for that. And it's a pretty good story. I am also watching the TV show. Which is not bad. It's not great, but I have a tough time with new series. I'm usually really skeptical and cautious at first. And honestly, I don't love it yet, but I'm hoping that I will. Battlestar Galactica, actually, you know, Battlestar Galactica I actually loved from the second episode, so it didn't take very long for that because I remember when Battlestar was on TV when it was first airing, and I caught it midstream, and I was like, what the hell's going on? But then me and my husband were like, we didn't know what to watch. One day we're at the video store, back when video stores were everywhere, and we're like, I think maybe we'll try Battlestar and just pick the whole first season. So we did that. We rented it, and starting from the very beginning to the end, from the second episode, I loved it. So we'll see. Sometimes I'm really quick on loving something, sometimes I'm not. Smallville I loved right away, but that's because it's Superman, and I love Superman. But it's just introduction was done really well. Firefly, I love now. I have the special edition disc, whatever. I love it, but I didn't love it at first. I thought it was kind of mediocre, and I didn't get into it until about halfway through the season. And I'm like, oh my god, this is so awesome. That's when they pick up steam. Joss Whedon's really bad for that. He did that with Dollhouse, or his writers did, and I don't know, the way Dollhouse started is really week, and then it picks up, and then it's just awesome. But of course, just like Firefly, it was too slow at the beginning, and just people didn't catch on to it, and it got axed. So, yeah, Joss needs to work on getting things started. Buffy was really good from the get-go, so I don't know. I don't know what happened there. But anyway, so yeah, Defiance. I'm hoping it gets in there. It's starting to become more interesting. The last two episodes were stronger than the first ones, I thought. Just getting a little bit of mystery in there, so we'll see how that goes. All right. Yeah. Currently, MMO hopping. I just want to play Final Fantasy XIV, basically. But I am almost done Mass Effect 2, so that's good. And then I'm really excited about playing Mass Effect 3 again, and I haven't played any of the DLCs, so it's going to be new for me, sort of. And the thing about playing on the PlayStation is I can't mod my character. I used to put a face texture on, or even change her hair, and I can't do that, and I'm finding it's really difficult because she's not as pretty as I know she could be. I'm like, man, that's so important to me, but anyway, it's important and it's not, but it does kind of bother me that she doesn't look like I know she can, and it really bothers me that the face textures or the lighting, I think it's the lighting in the game isn't as good as in the first one. The first one's the textures and like everything else wasn't very good. I mean, it's an older game now, but the lighting was perfect. And for some reason, Mass Effect 2, the lighting was just horrible. There's just a few scenes where the lighting is good. That's it. That's it. Mass Effect 3, I think, is a lot better in those regards. However, in Mass Effect 2, the story was good. The gameplay was good. It was basically, I think, technically the best Mass Effect. The Mass Effect 3 just, it feels rushed. I have no other way to explain that. It's rushed, period. And I don't want to get into a big Mass Effect thing again. I've done that a lot before. I want to talk to you guys about the first MMO I've ever played, just because I'm going through this MMO nostalgia, because I think once A Realm Reborn is out, I will not be playing other MMOs. That's it. I'm basically putting the hacks. The only possible exception to that would be Sony's EverQuest Next, or EverQuest 3. And the only reason I'm looking into that is because they promised to be sandbox, and I love sandbox, and I want to check that out, and it looks really, really interesting. And there's a lot of elements in EverQuest 2 that I really loved. So to me, EverQuest and Final Fantasy are actually really similar in themes and the way that they do their world building, and in the way that they have really strong community in those games, and I really enjoy that. And that's the only exception. The only other game that I think I would be interested in, other than that, it's Final Fantasy all the way, baby. So I was thinking about what actually got me into playing a lot of MMOs. I mean, it's been since 2005. 5 or 4? Hold on, how old am I? Yeah, it's been about since 2004 or 5 that I've been really into MMOs. And no, my first MMO was not World of Warcraft. I know that the date is there, but it wasn't. I actually played before I even knew what World of Warcraft was, and that was City of Heroes. It was my very first MMO, and it's because what got me into it was because I seen a friend of mine play it, and I was like, what is that? And he was really into it, so I wanted to, check it out, see what it was like. And it was superheroes. So I was like, And I had heard of Final Fantasy XI before, and EverQuest. And I had friends when I went to high school, when I went to, at the end of my high school. And when I was in college, I had friends who played it, but I had kind of a negative view and opinion of MMOs back then, because those friends I had wouldn't go out with us on Saturdays or Friday nights because, like, out drinking or whatever, bars and whatever did we do? Oh, we'd go to movies and stuff. Like, we just, lived the college life, basically. Went to see local bands play, stuff like that. And they wouldn't come because they had to, like, dungeon run or something. They had to do stuff. And I was like, that is so sad. I'm never going to be like that. So, oh, dog is back. So yeah, and so for a long time I kind of held out, And then again, I saw one of my friends was playing City of Heroes, and I was like, well, that doesn't look too bad, right? And again, I was totally against subscription fees at first, but then I just Googled it. Did we have Google back then? I think we did. Anyway, so I researched it, and then it was a free trial. So of course, stupid free trials. I downloaded it and I played it and I just loved it. And then I had to have it, and I played it and I subscribed to it for a little bit, but I did not like the subscription fee still. It still was annoying, and I didn't have that much money back then, so I was like, I'm not gonna play this. But then that was by NCSoft. NCSoft was just going to launch with Guild Wars 1, and I bought that. And that's Guild Wars is really what hooked me into the genre. City of Heroes was the thing that kind of like got my interest peaked, but Guild Wars was really what like hooked me because it didn't have that pressure of that subscription fee, so it really got me in. And I played Guild Wars probably more than a lot of other games. The only other game I might have played more than Guild Wars is maybe Final Fantasy XI, of course, and Lord of the Rings Online. I actually played quite a lot of that. But I played a lot of, yeah, Guild Wars. I have all of them. And the only expansion I didn't play in length, I think, was the last two. I had the North. I didn't really play that much. So, but other than that, I had a lot of fun in Guild Wars. And what I liked was really the world and, well, the fantasy aspect. I mean, it didn't have an open world. And ultimately, that's what got me away from Guild Wars, was the fact that it was all in hubs and all instance. It was instance after instance. But I really enjoyed the story. And I did at first make some friends there and some, join the guild and all that. And I love the social aspect of MMOs. And I think that's really what hooked me in was the fact that you could play with other players, and that was really novel to me. So, and then because of that, I looked back into Final Fantasy XI because I had sworn it off, and I was like, people are getting too into this and just like not being social in real life. But now I was like, oh, maybe I should look at it again, and I did. And the subscription fee was actually lower than most other MMOs, like City of Heroes and EverQuest and all that. So, and World of Warcraft when it came out. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna get that game, and then I played it to death, and it was great. I had a good time, but at the same time, it kind of negatively impacted my life, like I thought it would. But and then I finally I sympathized with my friends from college then. I knew what they were talking about or why they were doing what they were doing. So because it really does suck you in, and in Final Fantasy XI, like EverQuest, was a time sink, and you had to spend crazy amount of hours to get anywhere at first. So, but I genuinely adored it, and it was my favorite MMO. It's the MMO I've played the most, and then Guild Wars, and then Lord of the Rings probably. I think I have to look at my Raptor, but my Raptor wouldn't be adequate or accurate because it wasn't out for a long time. My X-Fire is what we had at that time, I think. So anyway, moving on from that, what was your first MMO experience? Why did you start playing MMOs if you play MMOs? I mean, I know a lot of you don't, but I just wanted to share what my first experiences were and why I played, because there's some of you there, I think, who are new, who are thinking about, well, Emmanuel, I think you are thinking of, or Sapphire, Alice Jarrah there, you're thinking of going to Final Fantasy XIV, you're not too sure. And anyway, I knew I felt a little myself when I first started, especially in Final Fantasy XI. I felt a little intimidated, just because everything was really alien at the time, and there wasn't a lot of help in that game, and people weren't really talking to me at first, and then finally some big Elizon with the Taru came, not Elizon, oh, I'm mixing the names now, but whatever, elf dude came along with this little Taru, and they like just started to talk to me. It's like, hey, are you new, blah blah blah, and just gave me stuff, and then showed me around and asked me to join their link shell, and that was my first introduction to that, and it was really awesome after. So the only thing I don't like about current communities right now is that everything is voiced, and I have a hard time focusing on what I hear and what I see. I can't pay attention to conversations while I'm paying attention to something else. I can't do it. I can't multitask that way because my hearing is messed up, basically. So I have to pay attention to what I'm hearing or what I'm reading, not both, or what I'm currently doing. So often people will be talking blah 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 blah, and if I'm focused on something, I have no idea what they're saying. So for me, ventrilo and whatever that speak thing is called, mumble, is hard. That's why I'm not on Mumble. I know there's a lot of people in my link shell, and this someone's like, hey, you should come on Mumble. I'm like, if I go on Mumble, I will not be doing anything else. All I'll be doing is talking to you guys. Actually, I should just go in there once in a while anyway and just talk. But the thing is, you have to understand is, well, most of you guys are probably mumbling and playing or doing something. I can't do both at the same time. I can't. It's really, really hard for me. So if I'm on Mumble and I'm playing, I won't be talking on Mumble. I'll just, or listening even. All I hear is like buzz, is mumble is all I hear. So anyway, I just wanted to let that out because I know there's a lot of pressure for people to, oh, you have to use voice, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm sorry, I can't do it all the time. And if I'm gonna do it, it's going to be, I don't mind using stuff like that if we're doing something difficult where commands are easier said than typed. That's not a problem. I have no problem doing that at all, especially if it's for a dungeon run or for an end game thing that, you know, we're organized, we're strategized, and you just go. But if you just like socially talking to me, then it's a totally different story. Anyway, that came out of nowhere. But yeah, so anyway, I do encourage people to try MMOs if they don't know, you know, what they're about, or it's a very interesting uh, way of gaming. Anyway, it's very very social. And anyway, I'm just gonna skip that and go back to, oh, actually that's all I wanted to talk about. I did want to talk about what I'm reading, but it's basically the same book that I've mentioned the last 2 times I did this, and The Warded Man. I'm about halfway done, and I was wrong when I said that I was saying that it was after like our civilization had ended, which is what it made it sound like, but I don't think it is. It's just a totally different fantasy realm, and their technology and science and stuff was different than ours. So, but it was still like they had a great civilization that was really advanced, and a kingdom and all that. And then the kingdom fell, and then everything went back to the Dark Ages, basically. So it's really cool. I love post-apocalyptic fantasy stuff. It kind of brings both together. I love that. So anyway, that's pretty much it for Moogle Speak today. Moogle Speak. No, that's not Moogle Speak. For Game Latte. I got confused because I'm looking at my notes and it says Moogle Speak on it. So that's the next thing I'm going to do. So yeah, stay tuned. I'm going to be recording a Moogle Speak as well. And yeah, and then we will have probably a Twitch pretty soon, either tonight or tomorrow, and we'll be playing some Guild Wars 2 also. And I'm probably gonna have my daughter on there as well, because I don't know if you guys were there last time, but she just kind of happened. It wasn't intended, but we did have a really good time and people enjoyed her and stuff. So I'm gonna keep her on there. I'm not, my Twitch isn't really popular right now, but just as a word of warning, if I get any jackasses on my Twitch, you will be removed right away. I have absolutely no tolerance, especially if my girl's gonna be on there. Yeah, zero tolerance policy. Okay? Alright. See you guys later.